My daughter handed me the most beautiful gift I'd ever received, an all-expenses paid Northern Lights trip to Alaska. But when I came home early from my pre-trip doctor's appointment, I overheard her on the phone saying, "The guide will make it look like an accident." She slipped on the ice, fell, froze to death. I smiled and quietly set down my purse, thinking, well, sweetheart, let's see who survives this little game of yours. Where are you watching from today? Drop your location in the comments below and hit that like and subscribe button. My name is Alelaner Morrison, and at 68 years old, I thought I'd seen enough of life's surprises. I was wrong. Standing in my own hallway listening to my only child plot my murder, I realized that sometimes the people who claim to love you most are the ones planning your funeral. Let me tell you how I got here. Because this story didn't start with Catherine's phone call. It started 3 weeks ago when she showed up at my Boston brownstone with tears in her eyes and what I thought was the most generous gift any daughter could give her aging mother. "Mom, you've been so sad since Dad died," she'd said, wrapping her arms around me in the living room where I'd raised her. "I know how much you miss him. How lonely you've been. Marcus and I want to do something special for you." Marcus Blake, her husband of 20 years, stood behind her, nodding with that practiced sincerity he'd perfected as a corporate lawyer. Their 2 children, Sophie and Ryan, flanked them like a picture-perfect family unit. "We've booked you the Northern Lights adventure you always talked about," Catherine continued, producing a glossy brochure. "Remember how you and Dad used to say you'd go to Alaska someday? Well, now you can. Everything's paid for. Flights, hotel, guided tours, the works." I'd been speechless. The trip cost more than my entire year's grocery budget. But looking at their hopeful faces, especially my grandchildren's excitement, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed with gratitude. 7 days and 6 nights in Fairbanks, Marcus added. The guide is supposed to be the best in the business. Thomas Mackenzie, 20 years of experience. What I didn't know then was that Thomas Mackenzie had gambling debts that made him willing to do things that had nothing to do with Aurora viewing. But standing in my hallway today, 3 weeks later, listening to Catherine discuss the details of my accident with someone on the phone, I finally understood. The gift wasn't generosity. It was a death sentence wrapped in a bow. "The insurance money will cover everything," she was saying, her voice carrying from the kitchen where she thought she had privacy. $2 million from the life insurance, plus we can sell the house immediately. Marcus says the market's perfect. $2 million. That's what my life was worth to my daughter. I remained frozen in the hallway, my mind racing. Catherine didn't know I'd returned early from Dr.